Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Making Pinterest Real, where we make all your custom stencil dreams come true. So if you've seen any of our previous stenciling videos, you know we've done a ton of tile and wall looks, which I absolutely love and they're so fun to do, but they're definitely really big projects and can be really time consuming. So I really wanted to show you guys a really simple yet fun project that you could easily do in an hour. So I was scrolling through Pinterest late last night, like I do most every night, and I came across this photo, which I thought was just so cute. Number one, the tray is adorable. It's got a really nice stain, and the lettering is really simple. It's not overwhelming, but it just adds so much that you wouldn't get from just a plain wooden tray. Anyway, I went online, dropped in the photo, put in all the details to order my custom stencil, my package arrived, and now you're all caught up to speed, so let's go get started on stenciling.
And here is the wooden tray that I ordered. As you can see, the staining is absolutely beautiful. Normally when painting wood, you want to completely sand it down so the paint can stick to the original raw wood as best as possible. But I really loved the staining that the tray came with, so I decided to do a little experiment to see if I could get the paint to stick to the staining without sanding it down entirely. And I'm going to be using 2 scrap pieces of wood I just happen to have lying around that I already stained to do my test on. If you don't have any scrap wood, you can go out and get some for really cheap, or you could test on a little corner of the tray that you already have if you're comfortable doing that. And this first piece I'm not going to be sanding at all, so I'm just painting directly onto the stain, and I'm doing a few coats like I would do if I was actually painting it. And then on my second piece of wood, I'm going to be sanding down a corner with very fine sandpaper, so it won't take off a lot of the stain, but ideally this will give it some more grip to stick to. Then I'm going in with this finishing pad and testing it on a different corner. This is going to do even less than the sandpaper. It's just really going to rough up barely the glossy surface. So I'll have 3 different levels that I'm testing. I'm going to wait for these to dry and then come back and do a scratch test. Alright, looks like my wood is pretty dry, so first I'm just scratching with my fingernails, and that didn't actually do anything, which is a good sign. All of them withstood the finger scratching test. And then I'm going in with a paint key to do some more damage, and that actually did scratch the surface on all 3. It did about the same damage on each piece, so in my opinion, doing the light sanding didn't really make a large difference. With the test done, I'm ready to get stenciling. Here is the custom stencil I got. I think it looks just like the image. I am very happy with it. So I'm going to be putting down my tray on a drop cloth, and my stencil was a bit too big. This is because I didn't specify the dimensions when I ordered the custom stencil, so definitely make sure to do that. But no worries, I just cut off the edges, which won't affect the design at all. This allowed it to fit perfectly within the tray. If for some reason your stencil is too big because it's lettering, you can move your stencil around to put the lettering wherever you want, so you're not tied to the actual stencil design if you don't want to be. But now I'm going to tape down my stencil so we can get started and it won't move around at all. And it is really important to wipe off any excess paint onto a paper towel or a piece of cardboard. You want to do pretty thin coats. This will make it a lot more professional and will reduce bleed through. And I did about 3 layers in total. And as you can see, I decided to do no sanding at all. This is a bit risky, but from the results of my test, the no sanding seemed to work pretty well. If you are worried about your paint lasting for years to come, you can always sand and then restain just to be safe. That is a foolproof way. Or you can also use chalk paint, which works really well on unsanded wood. I really wanted to use metallic paint because I think it looks absolutely gorgeous in the light, but chalk paint is also always a good safe bet. I'm also going in with a very small flat brush to get in any grooves in the wood. And now we are ready to pull up our stencil. The black doesn't show up as well as I had hoped because the base wood is pretty dark, but because it's metallic paint, once we get it into some natural light, it's going to show up really gorgeously, which I will show you guys at the end. But before that, we're going to want to seal our wood. This will help keep the paint lasting longer and not chipping, as well as because this is an eating tray, we're going to have dishes on it with food and drinks. We want to make sure it's sealed really well. Also, make sure to follow the instructions on your shellac or whatever your sealer you choose to use. Some of them want you to let the coats dry in between while others don't, and just little things like that. Alright, and here is the finished look. I think the lettering made it look way more upscale than when it was just wood. And also because this looks so nice, I would love to use this as decor. Even if you don't need an eating tray or you don't think you would use it that often, this could definitely double as something really cute to just put up in your kitchen. But I'm definitely going to be serving my friends and family some breakfast in bed. Additionally, the textures and tones of the wood look really nice in my kitchen and living room. Head to our website to check out more of our stencils, and don't forget to tag us on social media with your stencil art.